As you can see, I've added some of the other elements into into our building, the small cottage. And the next thing that I want to do is go ahead and create a ceiling. So it can be easily ceilings can be easily created by going to the ceiling plans. And ceilings are important because without ceilings we can't add lights. So let's do that. I'm gonna go into my level 1 ceiling plan. So this is the ceiling that I have. Now in order to add a ceiling, all I need to do is click on the ceiling, and once I move my cursor around, you see it's creating ceiling panels around. So it's creating automatic ceiling by using this automatic ceiling option. It's going to create automatic ceilings. If I don't want to do automatic ceilings, I can also sketch my ceiling as well. But let's go ahead first and do automatic ceiling and see what that does. So I'm just going to click here. That automatically added a ceiling. Click here and click here. Now I have ceilings added. So let's see how that looks like in a 3D view. See, it's a flat ceiling, as you can see in this particular view. I have this flat ceiling here. So it's a flat ceiling that was added into this level 1 ceiling plan. The material that we're using now, we can find it. One of the issues with ceilings is not really an issue, but the way that it's selected is you can't really select it by clicking on it. So you need to hover over the ceiling and then use the tab key on your keyboard a couple of times until you see this blue outline. So once you see the blue outline, just click and then your ceiling gets selected. And now you can see this ceiling type here under the type selector. You begin to see what kind of ceilings we have. So we have the 2x2s or the 2x4s. Right now I have the 2x4s. Can change it to the 2x2s. Also I can change the height of the ceiling. Right now it's at 8 feet. So I'm going to go ahead, and since my walls are up to 11 feet, I'm going to change the ceiling height to 10 feet. And that gives me more space. I'm going to do the same thing here. We could have done this right away before we started. Like when we started adding ceilings, we could have changed these parameters and added it, but I just want to show you how we can change it after the fact as well. So let's go ahead and change this, and then change this to 10 feet. And I'm going to go here, tab equal times here, and change this to 2x2, then change this to 10 feet. So that's basically a flat ceiling. Now if I go into my 3D view, here you see we have more space, like the ceiling height changed, so that looks a little bit better than what we had previously. With a flat ceiling we can easily add lights, but before adding lights, what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to look at another way to add a ceiling. So tab, click, I'm going to delete, tab, click and delete, hover, tab, click, delete. I deleted all my ceilings. I'm going to go back into the ceiling, and I'm going to look at how to create a ceiling by sketch. So I can go to the sketch ceiling option, and then you find your regular sketching tools. So I can use my rectangle tool and just draw a flat ceiling like so. And I can change this to 2x2s, and I can change the height offset to 10 feet, and I can finish the edit mode, and I have my ceiling. So if I go back into my 3D view, what happened there? There you go. So I have my ceiling like that. So same thing, it just depends on how you want to add a ceiling. Sometimes Road doesn't allow you to add ceilings to certain areas, so you'd have to sketch it off. For this project I want an angular ceiling though, to match the angle of the roof. So I'm going to create an angular ceiling by going to ceiling, and I'm going to sketch my ceiling. And before I start sketching, what I'm going to do is well, I've checked all of these, so I can use the rectangle tool. Now the angular ceiling is going to be in two parts, so the first part is going to be like that, and similar to the roof, when we created the roof, what we did was we selected the side where the slope was and clicked on define slopes. So we need to do that, select the line and define slopes. Now the angle of the roof was 9 and 12, so I'm gonna make that 9 and 12. So I'm gonna do the same thing on this side as well, and it's asking me to something, I don't know. I'm going to select this side as well and say define slopes, and I'm going to change this to 9 and 12. And I think we looked at the type of ceiling, so that should be fine. I'm going to finish edit mode, and there's more than one slope defined. So I think the issue is we need to create two pieces separately. So I'm going to select this one, delete it. Let's delete that as well. First we'll do one side, and next we'll do the next side. So I'm gonna click on lines cannot intersect, so there is some issue here. Let's see what that is. I think that was a line of the previous ceiling on this side, so that should be okay. There we go. So let's go into our 3D view and see how that looks like. That's fine. So that's an angular ceiling. I'm going to go into my ceiling plan. What I can do is I can really, rather than drawing it up, I can even mirror it. So I'm going to pick an axis. This time I have a line here, so I can use my mirror tool, and I'm going to pick this axis, and that gets mirrored. So let's go back into the 3D view. There we go. We have a sloping ceiling, which looks a little bit weird. And I think the material changed for some reason, but that's fine for now. It's okay, I guess. That's our angular ceiling. Now what we can do is we can also select the ceiling, and if you wanted to, we can change the material. We can go here and paint the material as well. So I can go into modify and paint the material if I wanted to. So let's say I want a chrome material, for example. This could be a chrome ceiling. That's a discussion for another time. So let's leave it at that. And the next thing that I want to do is add a couple of lights. So let's see how we can do that in the same video. So like any other thing, in order to add anything architectural, I'm going to go to architecture and component, and I would need to load some lights. So I'm going to go into load family, and I actually looked at some of the lights that's available here. So let's see. What I can do is I can bring in some can lights. So I had some can lights. I'm just gonna here we go. Download recessed can. Alright, there we go. That's the one that I was looking for. I'm gonna select that, click on that, and it's gonna update. And I can actually place it on this 3D view as well, but I'm going to go into my ceiling plan in order to see it a little bit more better. And since I've already brought in the can lights, I can start adding them here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to click, and what did it say? None of the created elements are visible. That's okay. I'm going to click here again, and I'm going to click here again. And I'm going to do the same thing here. These don't match, but that's okay. Alright, so I added some cans. I'm going to add one here. I'm going to add one here. And maybe I don't need one there. So that's it. I've added the cans. Let's see how that looks like. I'm going to go into my 3D view. So I have some cans there. Lights I added. I don't think it was perfectly added, but that's okay for now. And I can render it and see I've added some of the other stuff in here as well. So let's see how it looks like in Enscape. So I'm gonna click on the render button and see how it looks like. Alright, so that's the view that we have, and we have the can lights. Obviously lights don't appear until it gets dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this dark. So I'm going to press shift with my right mouse button and change the time of day, similar to what we've seen in SketchUp. And there we go, nighttime, and you see the lights working. Nice. Alrighty, so that's it. That's the ceiling, the lights, and in the next video let's take a look at how to render an image. We've actually rendered it. All we need to do is export it. So let's see how to do that in the next video.